Welcome back to a brand new episode of Wilhelm Productions Podcast. I've got a returning guest, one of my favorite guests, Sean G. Thank you so much for being here, man.
Mate, what's up, baby?
How are you? How's your day going? Thank you so much for being here this morning.
You got it, man. You know, you call and you said, yo, Sean, let's do another one. The first one did pretty good for you, huh?
First one actually is my best podcast so far. I'm very excited about it. And I think it's because you're unique, but I also think it's because you're authentic. And I think that when I'm able to sit down with people who just want to open up and just talk about their lives and different stories and different lessons that they had, it makes for good conversation because authenticity is what makes life better. And I think that we're coming into an era of people who are kind of sick of all this bullshit, sick of the fake, sick of this, sick of that. When if you were just you, then maybe people would like you more. And I think that becoming the unique you.
Well, if you were you would like yourself more. I think a lot of people are dealing with, it's a lot of self-hatred, man, and self-rejection. You know, if you liked you more, you would like the world more. When you don't like you and when you hate you, it's, the next move is to hate everything around you.
Yeah. What were some of the, maybe some skills, habits, or choices you started making to find that balance of yourself, to find being okay with you and who you were?
I had to crash and burn, man.
Okay.
I had to crash and burn. It was one point in my life with self-hatred and self-loathing and self-rejection. That camera's on us, right?
Yes, sir.
Self-loathing, self-rejection. That was a big part of my life, man. But when you crash and burn, pain is a motivator.
Yeah.
And when you all by yourself, Sean, I was all by myself, and then there was nobody else to blame, Mitch. I mean, I had to put the blame thrower down. Nah, man, look at you. You got yourself here.
Yeah.
And why? Why, Sean? Why do you keep setting yourself back? Why do you keep manufacturing reverses for you? Why do you keep creating adversity for yourself, self-manufactured? And then, you got to look back. I had to look back and see, I do a lot of videos. Follow me on YouTube, man. The podcast was sold on YouTube. The podcast was sold on Spotify, Sean G on YouTube. I do a lot of videos on childhood trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? The shit that we were indoctrinated with. Our parents, mothers and fathers, or whoever raised you, grandmother, aunt, whoever, they loved us, but a lot of times they were broken people and fractured people, and the things I was taught and the things I was told and the things I saw, that really wasn't, none of that was my fault. How could it be my fault when I'm 9 years old? How could it be my fault when I'm 12? These are my formative years. And then just going on and then getting into the drug addiction and all that, the alcoholism, and just constantly blaming myself from the childhood traumas, man. And then at some point you had to look and say, well, damn, Sean, this shit is affecting you in your 30s and 40s. But it wasn't really your fault, because if you could have did something different, you would have did it, but you were a child, man. And then, that's when you got to look at yourself and say, like, yo, I'm getting ready to make this change, man, and this change is for me.
How did you get to a place where you were okay with making a choice for you? And what that means for me is that aside from all the other opinions out there in the world and what they think you should do, when did you get to a place where you felt comfortable enough where you're like, no, I have to make these choices for me, but the things that I want for me and my family won't happen?
Man, that's a great question. When I was fucked up with my Fed case and nobody could help me, and everybody who I thought was down for me, everybody who I thought loved me, bounced and abandoned me, and I was all by myself. And going through that whole process, a depression, lost $1 million to the good, lost everything. And nobody, I was all by myself, man. And at that point, I went through that whole entire process by myself, even in prison.
Yeah.
And when you all by yourself, and you come to a realization that you can't look nowhere but to yourself. So it was at my lowest, man.
Yeah.
It was at my lowest when I got right. I always talk about getting right spiritually, getting right mentally, getting right physically. But in order to get right, you have to at some point been all the way the fuck wrong. And when I stopped fronting on myself, and when I stopped lying and wearing masks and trying to be other than who I was, and say, yo, the gig is up, the gig is up. Let's get real, let's get right. So it's always at the lowest moments you closest to success.
That is so true. I think it's interesting, though, that you were tested the most before those great things come into your life. Whatever those great things are for you, whatever your version of success is, I firmly believe that life ebbs and flows, and that if you want good things in your life, you also have to take the bad. And when you were in prison, how did you find a way to motivate yourself out of rock bottom? Because I know for a lot of people, everybody, we're all going to hit bottom at some point. And when you do, you're going to have to find some way to rely on yourself again to get yourself out of that hole. And I'm curious, what were some of the tools you used to really help motivate yourself out of that hole?
Well, let me share this, man. I destroyed myself, right? There is some divine intervention that has taken place in my life. Instances where my life has been saved, or for whatever reason, and it wasn't of my doing. And those are things that I can't explain, but for the most part, I'm the architect of my life. I'm the executive producer, I'm the movie studio, I'm the director, I'm the starring actor, I'm the grip, I'm the cameraman, I'm everybody. And what takes place in my life, I can't blame on nobody else, so I fucked me around. But one of the things that I did was I had to make that admission that, like, yo, Sean, you did this, man.
Okay.
You got yourself here. And at this time I had my son. I had to leave my son when I went to the joint, man. And that was like one of the most painful things I've ever experienced in my life. And, I got in there. I went, I did my time out in West Virginia. It was federal time. I'm from Jersey. They shot me out to West Virginia. And, which was a blessing because I didn't have to worry about getting visits. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta go. I had to go look in the mirror, man.
Right.
It take balls, man. It take nuts to go look in the mirror, man, and for once be real with you.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's really the main tool. Honesty, self-honesty. Sean, how did you get here? You did this shit to you.
But you know what I like about that?
What?
When you take responsibility for these things, you can also take responsibility for the actions that are going to get you out of that.
Right.
And one day, when you turn it around, you get to own all of it.
And the successes.
Bingo.
I take control. I mean, I take responsibility for my successes too. I blame me and I chastise me for my failures and my fuckers. But when I do good, I allow my ego and my arrogance and my conceit to say, nah, I came back. I did yeah. And that is the cheerleader. I got to be my own cheerleader.
Absolutely.
I can't wait on my lady. I can't wait on my man. I can't wait on Mitch or society. Because people walking around with hate. Hate is the order of the day. If I'm waiting on somebody else to show me love and to celebrate me, congratulate me, I'm never going to get right. So I wake up in the morning, I get my coffee. Yeah, Sean. Yeah, baby, we gonna go kill. Yeah, you did that shit. You put that. Yeah. I got to fuel me. This is my life. When I get ready to die, you're not gonna die for me. You're not gonna go to the hospital for me. Yo, Sean, I'll die for you. You stay here. No, you're not. So, this is my life. I got to make it what I want it to be, irrespective of how you feel.
I love that. And what you said earlier about how you are creating everything, I firmly believe we co-create, like you said. Some divine intervention, we will all have some sort of intervention at some point in our lives, but we are co-creators. And if you want something, like you're saying, you have to become the entire show, because no one's coming to save you. Nobody is coming to save you. No one is coming to take care of you. No one is going to come and make you extra money. No one is going to come and put a roof over your head. None of these things are coming from somebody else. And I think when you learn to rely on yourself and you take responsibility for you, that you have all of these opportunities in front of you, and that the world becomes endless with opportunity. And I think that a lot of times we think with such a finite mindset that, oh, we can't go make more money or can't go do this or that. Well, the government just printed 40% of the money supply in 2020. You can't tell me that you can't go out and start a business and do something with your life. So I think in a lot of ways it's really refreshing to hear you say that you take responsibility for you. Because how many people just want to push off everything else stuff? No, you did this, that's why I did that. Instead of just saying, no, I really fucked this up and I should just own it. And I'm sorry for all this, and now I got to go self-reflect. I love that idea of looking in the mirror. That has to be one of the most challenging things to do after messing up something in your life.
Yeah. You know, I believe, and I talk about this all the time on my channel, man, that we are gods of our universes, man. You know, I'm not God of the world, but I am the master, and I am the sole controller. I'm the God of my world. If I want to open up this window and jump out on my head, when I get down there and I'm broke up, I can't say, well, God made me do that. That was a part of it. That was already written. No, it wasn't. I made that choice to do that. So I can control whatever's in my cipher. Mm-hmm. What I eat when I get up. What thoughts I think. Do I get up and immediately turn on my phone and look at YouTube, or do I go in my kitchen, make me a cup of coffee, chill, look out at the birds, listen to the birds, reflect. All right, I got to do this today. I got to do that today. Calm my spirit. You know, what move do I make first? Is the move coming from love, or is my move coming from vengeance? Is my move coming from brotherly love? Is it coming from hate? I have control of that. I'm the God. I believe we gods of our worlds.
I love that. You talked about morning time, and I know you like to wake up early and get a fresh start on your day.
My mornings, man. My mornings are sacred, man.
Hey, just from being around you, I know that. What are some of the morning routines, like you just said, how you don't pick up your phone and you just take in the world around you? How much benefit do you think you get from simple things like that in your morning without flooding yourself with bullshit online or different things like that? What are some strong points in your morning routine?
Man, number one, before I take it down every night, I got 2 phones. I turn my phones off. I got 2 phones. I got this phone and I got another phone for my YouTube channel. The only time I'm leaving my phone on all night is if a little honey done called me and told me she gonna come over 1, 2 in the morning and give me something. Then I got to leave my phone on for that. But if that ain't set up, my phones are going off because I need my sleep. I need my 7 hours. That keeps me refreshed, and that makes me be able to get up and outperform everybody in the world. When I get up in the morning, I don't turn my joint on until I get up. I make my bed, I brush my teeth, I turn my coffee pot on, I make my coffee, and I sit down and I chill. And that's my time. That's my time. That's my time. I let my mind run wild. I let my thoughts be born, grow, and then die. Chill. I may read some positive aphorisms, some maxims, things that I wrote down, recite some poems, positive poems, and then boom. Once I'm right, cool. Start my day. Then I turn these joints on, because then I open up the world to me. You know, lady friend I'm dealing with, my man, people that's called, bill collector. Then they could come into my world. Mm-hmm. But when I keep this off in my mornings, that's my world. You know what I'm saying? And then when at night it goes back to my world. So my mornings are important to me, man.
Well, I love that because you set firm boundaries in your life. And for me personally, boundaries has been a very weak point in past relationships and other things like that. And I think that when you do get to the point of setting firm boundaries for yourself, like you said, I need good rest so I can perform well each and every day because I have to count on me. And I love that because not everybody thinks like that. Everybody is thinking, yeah, you know what? I'm working Monday through Friday. It's all good. Saturday and Sunday, I could just bullshit those days away. But those are free days to maybe get ahead of the game or do something you really wanted to do. And I think that's really cool that you get a head start on the day. What time do you usually wake up at?
5:40, 5:51, 5:52, 6:03, shit like that.
Okay. Just random times. Do you actually set an alarm or do your body wake you up?
Nah, I let my body do what it's going to do.
Okay.
You know, unless I got to go take a flight or something like that. But if I'm at the crib, I'm just letting my body do what it's going to do, get my rest, because I got to compete. I got to compete against you, and I got to compete against all 8 billion of y'all. If you think you ain't competing with 8 billion people, yeah, you got the game all the way wrong.
Well, I mean, every day is an opportunity to improve yourself, right? Yeah. Each and every day.
Mm-hmm.
And before I adopted that mindset of, hey, you can use every day to improve yourself, there were many days where I kind of felt aimless. And I think that when you finally start setting goals, and this is my question for you, when did you start realizing that you could achieve any goal you set if you just stuck with it long enough? Because you're a hardworking fella. I know how hard you work, dude. You post like 10 times a day. I'm paying attention here and there, and I think it's really fascinating that you've kind of adopted this just I'm going to work harder than you philosophy over time. And I'm just curious, where did that come from? Where does your drive come from? Where does this fire come from within you?
Well, I've always had it. I've always been a goal setter and a goal achiever, but it was really taken to another level. And you talked about the boundaries and the discipline and the restraint. When I lost it all, when I crashed and burned, and everybody around me said that he's done, you know, and even I said I was done. Even I didn't know if I could come back from how far I fell. And all I kept doing, Mitch, was just putting one foot in front of the other every day. And eventually my confidence began to grow and I began to believe. And once I went through that whole situation of losing everything and going to prison and starting over from nothing and making it through, then I knew that it ain't nothing in this world I can't do. Nothing. And I'm gonna outwork you. My work ethic is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I work out 7 days a week. I stay sharp. I gotta beat you. I gotta beat everybody. I gotta beat all 8 billion of y'all. I got to, because I made an oath to myself about, you know, I got to fucking make a comeback, man. You know, so I'm the god of my world. I can't leave, because I got a little son who's got my name. I'm a senior, he's a junior. You know, I got the pen and the notebook. I write my story. You don't write my story. She don't write my story. He don't write. I write it. And I get to choose to write what I want to write before I die. And once it's written and reflected in history, it can't be changed, right? They can change it and say what they want. They may not like me and slander me and all that, but what's real is real. So that's what drives me, man. That's what drives me, man. You know what I'm saying? Crushing my haters, man, and family, piece of shit family, you know, who cut my throat, you understand? Treacherous moves that was meant to destroy, I overcame because I'm better than you, because what you did to me, I would never do that to nobody. you know, and you know, you can't stop me. So I'm an ultra competitor. You can hear it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a super competitor. I fucking hate to lose, man.
Yeah, but you know what? Some of the most driven people do some of the most amazing things with their lives. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's wonderful. I mean, I've done a lot of research on Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan and people like that, just people at the pinnacle of their game. And they are so competitive, even all the way down to something as stupid as like me and you, we both have the dice, and you're like, hey, who's going to roll the higher dice? We'll just keep rolling. They'll play until he wins.
Shooting spitballs.
It does not mean
throwing snowballs.
Anything.
Throwing rocks at trees. I don't want to fucking lose no matter what. Make my bed up. I make my bed up better than you. If you watch a lot of my videos, all I talk about, I do this better than you. I make my coffee better than you. Everything I do. Because it's I'm ultra competitive, man.
I love that. But you know, it keeps you motivated, it keeps you happy, it keeps you enjoyable. I think in a lot of ways, like when you lose that fire, you lose the want to go out and hunt and do cool things with your life and actually live. Like, How many times in life do you look around and you see people that you're like, I'm not sure if the life you're living is any more than being dead already, because you're just feeding the machine. You're not doing anything you really want to do. I mean, how many people out there do you think really just want to make a life change right now and go, no, I've always wanted to be a lawyer, or I've always wanted to be a teacher, or I've always wanted to do this in my life, and all they had to do was just make that change.
That's why a lot of people don't retire, because when they retire, they die. Yeah. A lot of people work, you know, into their 70s and 80s because they see people who worked and retired, they die because the zest and the enthusiasm and the drive and the impetus to keep going is gone. So I ain't gonna never give up. I ain't gonna never stop.
I love that. I love that mentality, because at the end of the day, that's what it takes to find
Shout out to Mitch, man. Y'all gotta subscribe to his channel. Follow him on his Instagram.
Wilhelm Pro, everybody. You can follow me on Instagram.
Follow him on all the social media platforms. And see, y'all not messing with him now, right? But one day, when his platform get big, then all y'all gonna want to call. He gonna remember, nah, you didn't mess with me when I. Don't do that, man. Mess with him now. Support him, man.
But it's all good, because I got people like Sean in my life who I'm building great relationships with, and really, this has been such a pleasure. Like the fact that you
just keep going, though, man.
No, we're not done yet. I'm just telling you how much of a pleasure it is just to sit down and talk with you, because this is great energy. I love talking about exciting stuff, man. And it's not every day you get to sit down with people who are really excited about the direction they're headed in life and not worried about. I heard this quote
at 53.
At 53 too. You're right. Most people are already like checked off. They're like
broken, spirit broken.
Yep.
They've let a divorce break them.
Yep.
They've let a business failure or a tragic incident in life break their spirit and their will, and they're physically alive, but they've been spiritually and mentally deceased years back.
Yeah.
A lot of that going on.
Yeah, but I think with this message that we're doing, we're trying to motivate people, that maybe over time people will see that, like, look, I don't have to just do what everybody else is doing, and I could be me. Even if being you is going to be challenging, it's going to take a lot of time, effort, and energy to find the things that you're actually good at, because that's one thing I didn't realize when you went on this entrepreneurial journey that I'm on, and I know you're an entrepreneur too. When you go on this journey, you don't realize how much there really is to learn out in the world and how little you know. And for me, I had a big ego problem. I don't know about you, but I had a big ego problem when I was coming out of college, and life knocked me down. I was talking to some adult at the time.
How old are you, man?
I'm 26.
Right.
And this was about, I don't know, when I was 19. So a while ago now, 5, 6, 7 years ago. And I was talking to an adult. And we were just having some random conversation about anything. And now we can talk about life, we can talk about kids, we can talk about anything. But then I didn't have any depth to me. So I felt dumb. I really did. And for lack of a better term, that's how I felt. When I would sit down and speak with somebody, it would be a short conversation and they'd be like, all right, cool, time to move on, because I had nothing, I had no sustenance. And so over time, I realized that the only way was to pour back into myself. So what I did is I started reading books like crazy. No jokes aside, I hated reading my whole life until I was about 23 or 24. Then I picked up one book that my buddy recommended to me, How to Win Friends and Influence People, which I would recommend to anybody. It's a fantastic book.
I heard about that book.
It's wonderful. It's a quick read. But I mean, basically, I could boil it down to 3 points here for you right now. When you meet people, smile. Remember their name. And always remember little things about them. So when me and you are having a conversation, I'm always trying to remember the little things that you care about in your life. Whether it's your son, whether it's a baseball game you had, it doesn't matter. Start paying attention to the little details, because if you really want to show people you care, that's how you do it. You actually listen. And then when you see them next time, you bring it up. Hey, how's your kid doing? How's this doing? Because that's how you build a real relationship. And that book blew my mind, because at the time these little tips didn't occur to me that they would change my life in such a vast way. But reading, that's what reading did for me, man. After that, I kind of jumped on the train of how much can I read, how quickly can I consume information. And over that year I read like 30 or 40 books.
Awesome. Ranging
from financial information to philosophy to people to it didn't matter. I'm just trying to learn about people.
Awesome.
And so I don't know, Sean.
26 years old, Mitch, let me tell you, man, you know, you a baby, man, and for you to be doing what you're doing and, you know, connecting with people, you know, at 26, you know, you right on track and you way out front, man, and you got your own operation here, and just give yourself time. All you young dudes out there, man, slow down and give time. You have to give time to do what it's going to do, and time is stronger than the hammer of mighty Thor. You could try to force and press and push, and sometimes you just got to sit back and let time do its thing. Things I must earn. Time. Things I must earn. But you're doing good, man. You're doing real good at 26, man.
Well, thank you very much. I put in a lot of work to get here, and I think
keep putting it in.
Absolutely, but this fundamentally comes down to sacrifice. What are people willing to sacrifice for what they really want out of their lives? Fundamentally, because at a certain point I'm like, I don't care about the parties. I don't care about what Bobby and Susie are doing right now.
Talk to them.
And so the thing is that I eventually just said, why am I wasting all of my time trying to go to parties with people who don't actually like me, when I'm going to wake up in the morning and be pissed that I'm hungover till noon and that now I can't do anything with the rest of my day? Well, instead, fuck that. Go to sleep at a normal time, 10, 11 o'clock, work, get up in the morning, you'll feel great, you can work out, you can get more work done that day. I mean, think of how many people, if they would take that philosophy instead of partying every weekend, like, you were years behind people who just stopped partying and wasting their Saturdays and Sundays. Like, I mean, think about it. You literally could put in a regular workday, 8 hours each on a Saturday and a Sunday, and still have plenty of time to do. And those 8 hours were used to move you further in a business you want to be in, or in a skill that you want to learn. And I think that it doesn't matter how young or old you are. It just matters getting started. If you don't get started, nothing ever changes.
Talk to them.
10 minutes a day, that's all it took me, and I read 30 or 40 books in a year. I started with 10 minutes a day, and then I played this game with myself. I was like, okay, so you got 10 minutes in the morning to read, right? And I'm like, everybody's got 10 minutes to read. Okay, well, I'd read that 10 minutes. Well, then I'd get home from work and I'd be like, well, you could go run. Okay, when I get back from the run, I got another 10 minutes before I shower. Read another 10 minutes. Okay, before bed, boom, another 10 minutes. Okay, so instead of just 10 minutes in one day, I read a half hour and I knocked out 40, 50 pages in a book. Most books are 200 to 300 pages long, and you could finish that in a week. So think about that. If you do it mathematically, you're done with 30, 40 books in a year, and you didn't have to try that hard. And I think in a lot of ways, we make things more challenging for ourselves than they need to be, and it would just help if we just maybe listen to other people. I got these ideas from other people. I'm not some genius who's just thinking this shit up by myself. I went and just listened day in and day out to people who were in positions I wanted to be in. And over time, you kind of develop your own strategy, you develop your own routines, the habits you like to introduce into your life. But, I mean, fundamentally, it does boil down to you, and no one is coming to save you. So I just think that if you could learn anything from me and Sean, you have to motivate yourself. And if you want something in life, it is your responsibility to go out and get it, no one else's.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Nobody's... Life is a beautiful thing, man.
I agree with you 100%.
Life is a beautiful thing, man, and you know, shout out to all my subscribers and all Mitch's subscribers from around the world, man. But to be in America, man, you know, you could y'all talk all that shit all you want, all America this, America that, but this is the best house on the block. Nah, it ain't all the way right. Yeah, they do shady stuff, but in terms of if you're a high achiever, if you're a goal achiever, you're a mover and a shaker, you like to make shit happen, you can go, what Biggie said, you can go from ashy to classy overnight. You know, you can come here. That's why people come across shark-infested waters in a truck tire from Cuba to get to Miami so they could work at McDonald's and clean the bathroom, because they know once they get here, and 27 months later, they're going to be sitting on 40,000, 50,000 cash, you know, and then they got an opportunity to take that. So if you in America, you know, you in the right spot. You know, it's just sad that a lot of kids, all races, white kids, black kids, Spanish kids, Asian kids, who are born here and raised here are just so spoiled and so weak, and they want somebody, like, they feel entitled, and that's why these foreigners come from Guatemala, they come from Pakistan, they come from Syria, they come from Macedonia, Eastern Europe, they come from Africa, and they outwork y'all because they understand in Brazil there is no welfare, there is no food stamps, there is no Section 8, there is no government programs. If you don't got it, you don't got it. So, you know, you get up and you make it happen. But y'all ain't gonna never beat me, because I'm gonna outwork all of y'all. I'm outworking everybody. Ain't nobody, man, come on, man. Nah, I ain't, man. Listen, I'm going hard every day, man. So you gotta bring your A game, because I'm damn sure bringing mine.
I love that. I love how confident you are in just the effort you have to give. Man, that's all it is.
I'm
100% every day.
Fucking going, man. I'm not fucking playing around with this shit, man. I'm not watching CNN. I'm not watching BET. I'm not watching ESPN. Yeah. I'm not watching goddamn Channel 2. I don't care what they say.
Tell them.
I got shit to do, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. When the deal go down and you flat on your back and you fucked up with nothing, nobody cares. They're gonna say, "Look at that stupid motherfucker." Look, that's what they're gonna say. So, yeah, I ain't playing. I'm not playing. I'm going hard, man, every day.
I love that though, because life is serious. At some point in time, this whole show ends. This whole show ends. You don't get a second shot at it.
Nah, it's over.
Yeah, done.
It's over.
And I think we forget that a lot. Like, especially being young, too. How many people my age take for granted every single day? Like I said, yeah, we could just party again this weekend. Who cares? Get fucked up and drink. And it doesn't mean anything. But yet our country, in some ways, is falling apart. Or the world's going to war and all these other things. Like, we are so misguided on what we care about because music, news, culture, all of us are telling us to look at the wrong things. Like, don't you think that they want us to be blind? That they want you to be stupid and controllable?
Talk to them, Mitch.
At the end of the day, if you want to be free, you have to think for yourself. And you have to go out and get your own information and talk to people and be open-minded. And the most important thing is, I'm open to being wrong.
Talk to them.
I really think that just having open conversations is going to change the world. I really think that fundamentally, the wealth is in ideas for all of us. It doesn't matter who you are, what color you are, what language you speak, or any of that. Ideas are going to move us further. And if we live in the same country, we should want to move things forward in the same regard.
Talk to them.
And I think in a lot of ways it's sad that we are broken. But the cool part about when things are broken is that we have new opportunities to bring them together. We'll have new people, we'll have new ideas, and that's what's exciting about this new era in a lot of ways of being authentic. Is I think that in a lot of ways we are ushering out bullshit. Because who the hell wants to watch just bullshit all the time? You could just flick on CNN and you'll find a ton of it. So it doesn't matter which news network you find, Fox, CNN, any of them. At the end of the day, do your own research. Just seek out what you are interested in and then continue to be open-minded, because it doesn't hurt to go seek out another source or find a new idea. don't hold on to ideas so tightly that they destroy you. Because at some point in time, you might find out that the belief that you now hold on to could be wrong and you might want to change. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think that as time goes on, human beings, we should be okay with changing and evolving. And that even, for example, somebody that I met 10 years ago, we have an idea of each other, right? Yeah, if we met 10 years ago, you think you know me from this point in time, vice versa. I try to get rid of all that now. I don't want to judge you, nothing. I just want to meet you as you are today because you don't know how much has changed in someone else's life. And, it's just the reflection of empathy. Because I don't know what pain you've been through. I don't know what hardships you're going through right now. Your whole life could be falling down around you, and no one would even know. And so I think fundamentally, we just need to realize that we're all going through bullshit. It's all tough. It's always going to be hard. It just depends what you do with it. And if you can wear it with a smile and continue to work hard like Sean says, you can achieve anything you want. That's fundamentally, with enough consistency, you can build anything. And I think that it's okay to change and evolve, and it's the whole point of life. If you don't change, is it any different than dying?
It should be constant evolution. Life should be constant evolution. And a lot of times, and we was talking about this before we got on camera about family, they have a tendency, if the people that know you the longest have a tendency to think of you, of who you used to be in the 3rd grade or who you were in the 9th grade, and then now you've grown up, you've changed, life is beating you up, and you were totally different from who, but they have that perception that you still this person, and that causes a lot of problems. You gotta treat people for who they are, like you said, in the moment, man.
Yeah. That's really hard to do, though, too, especially when, in the past, we want to hold grudges, or you want to be pissed off about somebody that did something to you in, 9th grade, even though that's 20 years behind you or whatever. Right. At the end of the day, that doesn't matter, and it never did matter, and I think that, growing up, for example, our brains don't develop until 25, 26. We're not fully developed till that point in time. And I could tell you, going through my life from 19 to 26 right now, the world of development, what I have come to understand in people, the amount of empathy I have for other people, vastly changed. And I don't know what happened. And I think a lot of that does have to do with our brain is still growing during this portion of time. And that we need to continue to evolve. Just know you're going to mess a lot of things up in life, period. Failure is...
And ain't nothing wrong with that.
No. As long as you learn from it.
Right.
And I think for me, that's where it became important. Is that I didn't just want to mess up anymore. I wanted to find an actual solution. And if I couldn't find a solution within myself, I'm going to go look for other people who have maybe had some of the same experiences, and then they can kind of tell me how they dealt with it. And then you can kind of seek out which information is good for you and what's not for you. Because not everything's going to be for you. And I think that that's important to know. You're going to have to find your flavor of whatever life is for you. And I love just sitting down here talking with you, Sean, because you're just calm and just nice to be around. You have warm energy. For anybody listening to this, please go follow Sean. He really is a wonderful guy. I've known him for years. We met in California on the beach, and now we're sitting here in New Jersey.
Fit over 50. Fit over 50. Did 500 push-ups yesterday. Fit over 50. Fucking federal prison routine. Shit is on my channel right now. I take this fucking hoodie off. You're going to see all kind of knots and lumps and shit. Yeah.
He's absolutely jacked. Hey. 53, man. Wow. Really, though. You should be proud of yourself.
Ain't no doubt.
Really. Even the energy. You have the energy of, me. Of a 25-year-old man. You have the energy of that.
I got the little young honeys, man, in my life, man. They be like, oh, you 37, 30. I'd be like, nah, baby, you see this salt and pepper beard, baby. This is wisdom. This is wisdom. No Viagra, no Cialis, no creatine, no protein powder, no TRT, no HG, no nothing. Just all natural. Slave genetics. Man. All natural. Goddamn collard greens and black-eyed peas and chicken and goddamn fish. Beef, pork, goddamn cereal, you understand? Blow Pop, Tootsie Pop, Hershey Bar, just all natural milk. This is gonna be a classic show, man.
It is. Sean, really, thank you so much for being on, man. Really.
Man, Mitch.
We're gonna do this again in the future.
Ain't no doubt. We're gonna keep doing it.
Absolutely. And like I said, I'm gonna have you in Detroit.
I'm
I
coming
will have you in Detroit.
I'm coming up there. Coming up there. I got to put you in touch with my man too, who we speaking about.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna put you in touch with him.
Well, for everybody out there, thank you for tuning in. I hope you got some wonderful information from this. Thank you so much to Sean. Please go check him out. He's all over YouTube. He's got tons of great information. And thank you so much, and tune in next week.
Peace.